Hello, my name is Angelina, and I did my regression project on whether or not Le'Veon Bell is asking for too much money. So, for those of you who don't know who Le'Veon Bell is, he is the Pittsburgh Steelers' three-time Pro Bowl running back. He has broken various Steelers franchise records as well as NFL records and is arguably one of the best running backs in the league. As a Steelers fan, it's been a frustrating last two seasons because despite his great accomplishments, Le'Veon Bell and the Steelers have been unable to reach an agreement on a long-term contract. We know that he wants at least more than $14 million a year, which would be a record deal because historically running backs don't really make that much money. Since negotiations between him and the Steelers have stalled as of July of 2018, and news of Rams running back Todd Gurley's record four-year, $60 million contract surfaced, Le'Veon Bell neglected to attend any team activities and still hasn't played a single game this season. Bell claimed that he was not concerned with making the most money possible, but instead requested to be paid in proportion to his value. So naturally, after hearing that statement, it's natural to wonder what exactly is he valued or what exactly determines how much a running back is valued. So to answer this question, I think it's important to ask the right questions. So for my motivation for my project, I aim to answer the following three questions. 1, how much are running backs really worth? 2, are running backs underpaid or undervalued? And 3, what affects how much a running back earns? By answering these questions allows us to not only better understand the mind state of players who ask for large contracts, but also helps us determine whether or not they deserve them. This also in turn can help the NFL negotiate appropriate contracts based on a player's skill rather than just their playing position. For my variables, I chose to include 6 independent variables and 1 dependent variable. So my dependent variable will be average salary per year, and my 6 independent variables will be the rushing yards, total receiving yards, age, total touchdowns scored, average yards per attempt, and total rushing attempts. Some interesting things to note about this summary statistics are that the mean average salary per year is only about $2.3 million for a running back, and the maximum there is $14.3 million, which obviously belongs to Todd Gurley. Another interesting thing I noticed when looking at the raw data was that the next highest yearly average salary was $8 million a year. So my data will include statistics from the 2017 season for the top 75 running backs, and the salary data that's included will include the salary for these top 75 running backs as of the beginning of the 2018 NFL season. The data will not include Le'Veon Bell's performance and salary in order to model what he is worth relative to all other running backs in the league. So with the help of that data, I came up with 3 regression models. Regression number 1 included the independent variables of total rushing yards, total receiving yards, and age. Regression number 2 included all of those plus touchdowns and average yards per attempt. And regression number 3 included everything before it plus total rushing attempts. So in my 3 models, I ran hypothesis tests to see which variables were considered significant at the 5% level, and I've denoted them with the 2 stars. There's one here, here, and these 2. So after coming up with these 3 models, I inputted Le'Veon Bell's 2017 season statistics into them to see what yearly salary he should be making relative to all other running backs in the league, and it's nowhere near how much he is asking for. So from regression 1, his average yearly salary should be about $6.9 million, and number 2 about $6.8 million, and number 3 about $7.1. So at face value, it seems as if he is obviously asking for too much money. But when you compare Le'Veon Bell to Todd Gurley, who is the highest paid running back in NFL history as of just a few months ago, take a look at what you see. Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley's numbers are very similar. All their statistics for the 2017 season are all within a few numbers of each other. I really wanted to emphasize the bottom 3 rows because I also inputted Todd Gurley's numbers into my 3 models, and came out with these three numbers. My models showed that he should only be making somewhere in the $7 or $8 million a year range. Keep in mind, in reality, he's actually making $14.3 million a year. This side-by-side comparison led me to a very interesting conclusion. I do not believe Le'Veon Bell is asking for too much money. Although the models make it seem that way, real life has proven that not only do elite running backs have the potential to be paid much more today, but they now actually have a very real chance at signing these contracts that were previously thought to be unrealistic and unbelievable. These world-class athletes are setting a new precedent for how the game is played and changing how their position will be thought about, analyzed, and valued in the years to come. So it's only fitting that they would also transform its pay scale for all the Le'Veon Bells and Todd Gurley's of the future. Some things to note also about my models is that there may be some potential problems that came with it. Two that I was able to think of was that I do have a relatively small sample size. I only included 75 running backs, and my data may have possibly violated the OLS assumption of equal variance, because as you can see in these three plots, there seems to be a very slight pattern in all three of the residual plots. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you.